Hi guys, Joe from New Chew Channel. Thanks for tuning in. This is just about 24 hours since I got my new chew, and I wanted to give you guys a rundown of what's happened over the last 24 hours, how things are feeling. For those of you that are thinking about going through this process or considering a different option, this is just to kind of give you an idea of what my first 24 hours has been like with the new chew. First of all, how's it feel? Sore all over the place. It feels like the edges of the outside of the gum parts are cutting into my cheeks all over the place. Now, I did go in for an adjustment this morning, and that did help a little bit, but there's still a lot of soreness. So I don't know if it was because of the initial soreness. He said that there were, rub spots in the gums where he could tell that they needed to be adjusted. Those spots are still sore, still hurt when I bite down. When I'm talking, it's still awkward and still hurts. I only had one gag attack. People talk about, getting that gag. I only had one gag attack, which is surprising because I've got a pretty sensitive gag. And that happened when I had a smoke in my mouth like this last night. I went to the grocery store with my wife, came out, popped a smoke in my mouth, and I'm just lifting some groceries, and then all of a sudden it just made me want to gag. And I had to drop the groceries and run around the side of the car and rip my bottom denture out just to keep from starting to retch. So thankfully that hasn't happened since, and I'm glad. The tops have good suction. The bottoms hurt like crazy coming in and out. I have really prominent down here, prominent bone from where the teeth used to be. And I thought when I got, before I got the dentures, I thought they would just kind of drop right in. They don't. They actually kind of hook in, and then the back has to come down. When I take it in and out, it almost rubs on that prominent bone area across the bottom, and it hurts. And that's also a spot that is painful from rubbing. So I'm looking forward to that kind of clearing up as time goes on and as my gums shrink. I'm only 3.5 weeks in. This Friday it'll be 4 weeks since I had my extractions, and I'm thinking I probably should have waited longer before getting my teeth. I shouldn't have rushed into it this fast, but I'm self-employed and I've got to be able to talk to clients and stuff. Can't do that without teeth. So the bottoms hurt like crazy. There's some issues with the lip string, frenulum, whatever you call that thing. They do let it in on the dentures on the bottom and the top, but I think on the bottom it moves a little bit. I don't know, and it irritates it. That's definitely painful. Now this morning the dentist didn't want to adjust too much. Obviously it's easier to remove material than it is to put material back on. So he said he's gonna not over adjust it. This has only been a day or so. I'm going back tomorrow for more adjustments, then on Friday more adjustments, and I'm hoping by then it's not gonna hurt this much. Now the pain is annoying, but it's nothing compared to the pain of an aching tooth. That deep nerve pain that you get from a rotten tooth or a cracked tooth, or a tooth that had a filling fall out or something like that. There's nothing that touches that pain. This is just surface pain on the gums, and I can put up with that. Because of the pain and the rubbing, last night, like I said, my wife and I went to the grocery store, and I decided that I was going to pick up some Fixodent Plus gum care. Just because of the rubbing, I wanted to be able to eat some solid food, and so I thought, I'll put that on there, and then maybe it won't rub so much to be able to chew. Now that definitely did help. I didn't get the squeeze out. I was really careful not to overdo it because of seen enough YouTube videos of other people saying, you know, if you overdo it, you get that squeeze out and then you got all that goo in your mouth. It was good to have. It was nice and solid. Almost felt after about an hour or so, especially, it felt like there was like pressure on my gums holding them in, and it was not too bad. Now the downside was, because I'm like only 3.5 weeks into this since E-Day, I've still got sockets that are open, and later when I took my teeth out to clean all that stuff out, whole bunch of that gum was in the sockets, and you can't just like pluck it out. Like, it's not like silicone or something like that. It's like a gooey, I don't know how to describe it, gooey syrupy stuff, but rubbery at the same time. So it took me some real working at it with that syringe with the little curved spout, working it out of the socket. So, you know, it was not my dentist's recommendation. He recommended not using Fix-A-Dent or anything like that, especially in the first, you know, week or so, because I'm going to be going for adjustments and they need to see where the ulceration rub marks are in order to adjust. And if I use the Fix-A-Dent, then that's going to cushion things and it's not going to make it as apparent. Now, it definitely did cushion things, and that was nice, but yeah, it was maybe a little bit too early to use any kind of denture adhesive. As far as pronunciation, I have way more room on my bottom jaw for my tongue than I used to. When I had teeth, my teeth were so crowded especially in the front, but even my jaw was very narrow, or at least where the teeth were, that my tongue always felt fat and I couldn't pronounce my S's. I just, man, it's so crisp. I can say my S's way better than I ever could when I had teeth. So I'm happy about that. I can tell that I'm having trouble with words like that start with j, or like if I were to say judging by the way that person, when I say judging, I get a clacking noise whenever I make the j sound. Same with ch, z, z. I feel like the teeth come together when they maybe shouldn't. So, or if I'm using using a sentence like, "Are you going somewhere?" Going from "are" to "you" to "going," which are all words I can say individually, you know, pretty good. Even that's a difficult one. Are you going somewhere? The transition from one word to the next is difficult. So I can tell it's going to take some time and patience to get back to pronouncing words properly. Eating for the first time last night was painful and a little bit challenging, but here's what my experience was with that. So my daughter made lasagna, and I thought lasagna is a nice solid food, but it's a soft kind of a solid food, you know, the noodles, the ground beef. She had baked cheese on top, which to my total dismay, I was not able to chew the baked cheese. That was kind of sad. But that said, I did still get some ground beef into me. I'm a carnivore. I'm happy about that. Now, the downside is as I was chewing, you can't, it's a totally new thing. It's like relearning talking and chewing almost from scratch. Maybe not from scratch, but you know, it's like only having it down 50% of the way. Now you've been set back 50% of your ability to chew and to talk, and now you got to kind of catch back up. So I right away noticed there's no sensory spatial perception of where that food is in your mouth, except for on your tongue and your cheeks. And even with your cheeks, because if food gets caught in between the gum part of your denture and your cheek, you can only feel it on your cheek, but not on the gum part where you normally would. It kind of messes with your brain, and your the nerves that send the signal to your brain that says, hey, you got food stuck in between your gums and your cheek. It's kind of messed up. And then trying to get your tongue over there to clean that out was actually really painful for me, because there was a sharp spot on the inside of my bottom that was chafing the side of my tongue, and he took care of that this morning, but it's still sore today. I did try a hot dog after that, just a plain hot dog, smoky kind of thing, same sort of skin and texture and everything. It's just a wiener, but heated it up, cut it with a fork and a knife, small bites. Definitely, when people say take small bites, it's definitely for good reason. You can't take a big bite. You got a lot of acrylic in your mouth that you don't have the room that you used to. There's another tough one, that you used to. So I tried a hot dog, and again, I found it was difficult to kind of feel where the food was at all times, like you used to be able to, because you got nerves in all your gums, inside and out. And when you're chewing, your tongue is moving that food around. Normally when you got teeth, your tongue is moving that food around, especially if you got bad teeth like I did, where you can only chew in certain spots. You get used to kind of pushing the food over to that spot or to this spot. Now you have to relearn where that food is, and the only way that you can tell is with your tongue or the side of your cheek, which is a little bit challenging. Now, so the baked cheese was too ambitious. The hot dog was just about too ambitious for how sore my mouth is and was. Finally, I just got myself a bowl of cottage cheese, loaded it up with salt and pepper flavor, and warmed it up a bit in the microwave and ate that, and that filled me up. And it was okay. It was, again, another weird thing you gotta try and chew. And I had been spending the last 3.5 weeks working on trying to mash things with my tongue up against the roof of my mouth. Now I'm trying to learn how to get my tongue to push the food onto the teeth, the fake teeth, and get them to chomp down on it. So it's definitely gonna take a little while to get used to. I did bite my lip a couple of times because, again, you don't really have any sensory perception from your gums. Temperature differentiation was a little bit weird. So you take a shot of ice water, for example, and the ice water feels super cold on your tongue, and you don't really feel any temperature difference or any noticeable change in the temperature in your mouth on the roof of your mouth, which is where you normally kind of feel that. That's a little bit different, and it's going to take some getting used to. Same with coffee and hot food, right? At one point, I popped a piece of Excel gum into my mouth, thinking, Bill Westland had suggested using sugar-free gum to get used to chewing. That was definitely too ambitious for how early in the stage I am and how much gum pain I'm experiencing, because I just thought it was going to be soft enough. Now it's one of those kind of candy-coated gum things or whatever. It comes in the blister pack. You pop them out. Popped it in, tried to bite, and it was just like, nope, right away, knew too early for that. Pronunciation, I already talked about. Now appearance, because a lot of us, we have struggled with, poor dental issues. I'll just put it that way. I've always had horrible teeth, hated my teeth growing up, hated my teeth as a kid, and I'm sure many of you were in the same boat, or you're now finding that your teeth really get you down now because maybe you had great teeth at one time, but for some reason or another, your teeth are starting to break down. Ladies often talk about after they've had 1 or 2 children, the calcium in their teeth gets sucked out and their teeth begin to break down. Because of my bad teeth, my whole life, I've always noticed people's teeth, always. And so appearance, while it wasn't the main reason why I got my teeth, it was definitely something that was like I don't know, a bonus. I really was looking forward to being able to smile at my kids and smile, just be a smiley guy. You know, I've never been a smiley guy, and I have to learn how to smile. I have to, okay, I'm going to try and be a happy, smiley guy. My brow is always furrowed. I'm always looking serious and maybe glum a little bit because I'm so used to not smiling, always hiding. Even when I was laughing hard, I, would curl my bottom lip over my teeth and my top lip. I would try and purse my mouth while I laughed, even when I'm laughing, wholeheartedly. And so, appearance has been an important thing to me. And I'm sure it is for many of you. I mean, obviously, if you're going to spend a pile of cash on a new set of chompers, you're going to want the appearance to be nice. So here are some thoughts that I've got on the appearance. First of all, people say, dentists especially will say, that if you go too bright, people will know that they're fake. That it'll look unnatural. Might look like a mouthful of chiclets. Now that I would tend to agree with to a degree. For us guys, we don't have a whole lot of color going on in our face. And so because of, very little contrasting colors, brighter is good. Like, to me, I think it's far more noticeable when somebody has all dingy teeth because they went with, the natural dingy look. And to me, that just looks gross and artificial because nobody's teeth are that brown through the whole tooth. It's usually, kind of around the edge of the tooth or at the root or whatever that you'll see a little bit darker color. And so when I see somebody who's picked, obviously, a dingier shade for their dentures, to me it looks fake. So to me, brighter was better. Now, when I went in for my initial, appointment where I was going to be picking out my tooth shade and stuff like that, I went in there determined I was going to get the A1. I didn't want to go with the bleach shade, but I wanted to go A1, which is the brightest natural color that they had. And the dentist strongly suggested A3, and I said no, definitely not going A3. It was definitely dingy, at least to me. Now, when I went with A1, I was, holding it up, comparing it and everything, to the color of my face and whatnot. And my wife said it looked good, but then the dental assistant said, when you've got a whole mouthful of them, it's going to be too bright. She said, I really think you should go with A2. And at first I thought, I'm getting talked into going darker than I want. But she assured me that when I go in for the wax try-ins, I can see how they look. And then if I want to go back to an A1, no problem. So I thought, okay, I'll do that. Now, I was pleasantly surprised when I went in for the wax try-ins that A2 looked nice and white and clean. To me, white looks clean. I like clean. Didn't want dingy. And I gotta say, I'm happy. I'm happy with the color of these. They look natural. They look like a nice white tooth color. They look clean. They look like, I just came out of the dentist's office with nice, clean, white teeth. And that's what I wanted. I did not want teeth that looked like I was due to go to the dentist for a cleaning. So, guys, gals, definitely listen to your dentist. But here's another thought from a guy who, like I said, I always notice people's mouths because I've always hated mine. Or teeth, I should say. Ladies, when you wear lipstick, if you have any dinginess in your teeth, it just amplifies it. And white teeth with red lipstick looks stunning. It looks awesome. And I have seen ladies with fake teeth that I found out afterwards were fake teeth, but they got the bleached shades, like, you know, not the super ultra glow in the dark direct air traffic kind of bleached shades, but, you know, like up maybe one or maybe two, I don't know, from A1. Because they wear lipstick, it looks awesome. And I never knew that they had artificial teeth. You know, to me, it just never even crossed my mind. All I thought was, what a beautiful smile. Now you'll hear that Callan Jacks, one of the YouTubers that really helped kind of get me through some of the questioning process and the confusing process of getting dentures, I would strongly suggest subscribing to her channel and watch her videos from especially early on when she was going through the process of getting dentures and everything. Now she's got implants. Good for you, Callan Jacks. But she talks about the tooth shade thing, and especially for you ladies, I would suggest don't let the dentist talk you into going with anything dingy. If you want a white tooth, you know, get the whitest that you want. Go do the wax try-ins, then you can see for yourself if that's too white or not. But when you go to do the wax try-ins, wear lipstick. If you're the kind of person that normally wears lipstick, wear lipstick so you can see how it looks. So again, us men, we don't have the color in our faces, the contrasting color and stuff, so it doesn't stand out as much. So I'm happy with the A2 that I went with. I'm happy with, you know, the look of them. The only thing that I'm kind of wondering about is, are they too prominent, too far down? Like I said, when I pronounce certain words, like ch, j, z, it feels like they clack together. I don't know if that's normal. Does that happen to you guys with dentures? It would be great if you could let me know. I think that's all my thoughts, overall thoughts. Like I said, if you can wait longer, it is better. If you're going to go the route of having your teeth pulled before you get your permanent dentures, definitely the longer you wait, the better. I only went 3.5 weeks. Other commenters have said 3 months. They didn't have all the pain and everything that I'm obviously having. I've still got open sockets, so it's difficult with Fix-A-Dent and stuff like that. If I need some cushion, I would definitely say 3 months is probably around the right time as far as the soonest, if you can do that. If you can save your teeth, if you're just, you know, frustrated with dental bills or whatever, don't go getting your teeth yanked and get dentures, because that's the wrong reason to do it for sure. I did it because my teeth were so badly crooked. They basically said if I wanted to have a nice normal mouth, I was going to have to spend like $60,000, $70,000. $60,000, $70,000, or bare minimum just to get a bridge across the bottoms and take care of some of the root canals that I needed. It was going to be 12 grand. To me, I can't afford that. I went the route of just, I've wanted it for years. Just, you know, get them all out. Now, definitely in hindsight, if you can keep your teeth, it's better. And now another thought that I've had, I can't help but wonder, would it have been better to go to a denturist instead of a dentist? Now, my dentist is both an oral surgeon and a dentist, but he doesn't have an in-house lab for dentures. Obviously, he has other patients that he deals with dentures and stuff like that. It certainly didn't strike me as anyone that didn't have a great deal of experience. So don't get me wrong, my doctor at my dental place is awesome. But I can't help but wonder if, because a denturist deals with dentures all day long, every day, and that's all they do, if maybe as far as the comfort and the fit and the feel and everything and adjustments and whatnot, if that would maybe be better. I don't know. That said, a dentist understands, gum recession, bone loss, bone filling in, stuff like that, obviously more than a denturist will, to a degree, right? They know the physiological stuff. They went to school for all that stuff. So not that a denturist didn't, but you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I can't help but wonder what would be better. Honestly, couldn't tell you. The last thing I couldn't help but wonder, I found out about Russel Klein dentures. Not that I found out about Russel Klein dentures, but I really looked into Russel Klein dentures, what that was, after I had already put the down payment, the half down on this whole procedure. I wish I would have known about Russel Klein, because I don't know if he does dentures for Canadians, but I'm pretty sure he probably would. It just would be a little more in terms of shipping, and you guys would, or Russell's dollar would kill me, going from Canadian to an American dollar. But I think it still probably would be worth it. And everyone so far that I've seen that has either done a video on Russel Klein dentures that they got or talked about them, they've all been really happy. Everything I've read about Russel Klein dentures, comfortable right off the bat. But I can't help but wonder if this was done by, apparently my dentist says he uses one of the best labs in the Vancouver area, and Vancouver is a pretty big area, a lot of people out there. Maybe he's just saying that, I don't know. But I can't help but wonder, if I'm going through this much trouble with pain and discomfort and, fearing that I'm going to have to go back for like 50 adjustments just to get these things comfortable where I can start to eat semi-solid food, what would happen if I had ordered Russel Klein dentures? Maybe he's just super gifted and he knows how to make them in a way that he can kind of anticipate what areas are going to be rubbing and what areas to kind of keep. Obviously from what I've seen, his dentures there's not as much material, and they seem to be, a lot more geared towards, comfort that way. These ones, like, I don't know, to me it feels like my upper lip is pulled up here. I don't know. My wife likes them. But if I had gone the route of Russel Klein dentures, I can't help but wonder if I would have had this much trouble. Would I have ended up spending whatever savings I would have had going with Russel Klein on getting adjustments from a local denturist who didn't make them? So just other thoughts that I've had. I do plan on, I think, my next set, or as soon as I can afford it, I might even just go ahead and contact Russel Klein about getting a set of dentures, a secondary set made up, and I can do a comparison. That's something that is very appealing to me, but it'll be a while before I can afford that. So anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in to New Chew channel. I'm Joe, and this is around 24 hours after I got my new chew. And I got to remember to smile. All right, guys, have a great evening, and we'll be back with another update as soon as I can. All right, take care.